So don't assume you have to be at the top of the game like everybody else in the industry. You got to be yourself, but you got to play the game. You got to get muddy. You got to get down in the trenches. You got to be willing to work. And it's going to take some time. It's going to take some energy. You got to make some sacrifices. And everything we talked about in this training series, from personal development to, building your client database, the entire system, closing, guess what, folks? When it boils down to the end, when you retire someday, when you are at a point of living your dreams, you are going to look back to the hardest point of success, and that was when you became very uncomfortable. That's when you become very emotional, and sometimes we call that the fear zone. We call that the zone. Many people, it's amazing, they start to become uncomfortable. And what do they do? And Mike, you and I both know this. They turn around and they go back to the comfort zone. Well, you know what? If they just understood that it might be a year, it might be a couple years, but it's very uncomfortable getting into the process of living your dreams. But you know what? Right around the corner, it becomes the most comfortable feeling in the world. And you will feel, and you will be so proud of yourself. And you know what? People will see this. They will understand that you paid the price to live the promise. And let me just tell you something long term as I wrap up my portion here today. And I look at down the road. I've got a beautiful young daughter. I'd love to donate this entire series on behalf of the entire industry, Cutting Edge Media, but my little girl, I can imagine someday she's going to get married, and I know that she's going to sit in front of the pastor, but I know this question might come up. The pastor might say, Alexis May, when you think of your father, what do you think of? What comes to your mind? What examples did he leave for you? Okay, what disciplines, anything, just share the thoughts. And you know what? The greatest gift we can leave our children, our organizations, the people that we work with, our true friends and family, are great examples of living a life of sacrifice and belief and doing everything we know we have to do. Same thing in our industry, folks. So think about that. 5 years from now, what is your downline going to be looking, when they look at you, what are they going to think? Well, you know what? All I know is that he was always ahead of the game. He always played the game. He did his best. He led by example, and this obviously could be a she as well. But understand where I'm coming from, folks. We got to give the great example for not just our children and everything else we do, but our entire organizations.
Well, what are your options? Mike, what are your options? If you don't get it done in network marketing, where else are you going to go? Are you going to get it done in corporate America? I don't think so. The bottom line is that some people, it's reserved for a few elite people to do that. In network marketing, you can get it done in a lot faster way. You look at what's going on in the economy today. You look at the WorldComs, the Enrons, the downsizing, the right size, and the corporate disasters that's going on. It's not there anymore. My dad was taught, hey, go get a job with a great company, retire with great benefits. It doesn't exist. We've heard that a long time. We've heard that many times. And the bottom line for people like you and I, and it's like Jim Rohn says, you got to adapt. You got to have multiple skills, and the person that adapts the quickest is the person that capitalizes in today's society. And that's really where you want to be. And evaluate your options. Just get honest with yourself. Sit down and say, what are my options? Where else am I going to go? What am I going to do? And then get real serious about it, because understand there is a price for failure and there's a price for success. The price for success is very short term. The price for failure is long term. The price for failure is a lifelong painful situation, and you don't want to get involved in that. The price for success is a short-term price. You expand your comfort zone. People say they got to step out of their comfort zone. Well, let me tell you, I believe that you can expand your comfort zone. The more times you do something, the better you get at it. It's that repetition thing. It's that thing you go over and over again, and you get better at it. And you continue to grow your business. You continue to expand your comfort zone, and all of a sudden you just become more comfortable with things you used to be afraid of. That's when you become 10 feet tall and bulletproof. That's when you become callous to it. And the thing that I would tell you is, as you approach these leads, just in general, really, you almost got to have the attitude of not caring. And hear me right when I say that. It's almost like an attitude of saying, listen, it doesn't make a difference whether or not you do this for yourself or your family, because it doesn't make a difference to me at all, but it might make a difference for you, to Mr. or Mrs. Prospect. And I think that that's vital. That's key. So make sure that you expand your comfort zone. Look at the options and really look at what's going on. How many people do you know that have been downsized? Think about that. Have you been downsized? Has your spouse, has somebody, a relative, a friend, somebody you care about most in life? Think about those types of things that are occurring and really analyze where you're at, analyze where you're going into the future. And I would just tell you, hey, look, This industry is going to get you there. It's a very solid industry. It's here to stay. It's been here a long time. Hook up with the right company.